Alright guys, it's time to work on my Blasteroids. This game actually works, the boards work, the sounds work, the controls work. Well, that control works. I have new ones to replace them with, but the monitor's super dim. You can't see it at all in the daylight. At night, you can barely make it out, like the colors. And I've played with the brightnesses, all the different brightness, pretty much all the knobs back there. And I can get it to where you can kind of sort of make it out at night. But if you turn the brightness up too much, you get a washed out screen, and too little, and it's just dark. But I did a cap kit, hoping maybe that would help, and it didn't even make a difference. So the next thing I was going to try is I picked up this on eBay. It's a Sencore CR7000 CRT analyzer and restore. I think this is probably the newest one Sencore had made before they stopped making these types of monitors. But the monitor that is in that cabinet is right there, if you can make it out. It's a 510 YWB22, and if you can see the different settings, it uses socket number 5, which I have right here. These are double-sided sockets, so it's 6 on one side, 5 on the other. And then the other settings to set it to: video 1, 68 volts for the bias, and 6.3 volts on the filament voltage. So set that on the side, and sorry for the mess right now. It's usually messy in here anyway, but I just had a baby girl about 2 weeks ago, so this is kind of an overflow for random crap we had everywhere else in the house. But I've already it says to discharge the monitor, which I already did, and pulled off the neck board, and I'm going to hook up socket number 5. And so as you can see, there's number 5. I'm going to get it lined up and push it on. So it should be on. And then plug in the end connector here. So there we go. And then I'm going to plug this in to power. Make sure that's turned down. All those are turned down. Alright, now let's look at the book. For 510 WB22. Socket 5. CRT type is video 1. So right there. CRT type set on video 1. The bias is 68 volts. You can set that right there, which I think is already on 68, 30, yeah, 68 volts. And then the filament voltage is 6.3. So you set it to the closest one it is, so it's before 4 to 8 volts. And I'll go ahead and turn this on. And then as you can see, that's lit up, and you see 6.3 volts right there. And I'm going to turn the adjust knob until it's at 6.3 volts. And we're good right there. So the monitor, this should be set up, ready to go for testing. And I haven't really had a chance to do it too much, but I read over most of the book. So there might be a bit of dead space in here as I kind of look over it again real quick. But let's see. Alright. Alright, set up the filament voltage, and it wants you to do the tests in order. Filament voltage G1, HK, like this. So we're going to move on to G1 short, give it a little bit of time to warm up. And look up here. Yeah, you can see that Oh, I don't know if you can or not. I can see it in person, but it's a little hard to see on the camera, isn't it? But there is a little bit of net glow. There, right there you go. You can make it out. There's some net glow. So the G1 short checks for shorts and leakage. Blah blah. To check. Set the function, switch to G1. Read the results on the bar graph for each gun. Only one bar graph will be active when testing a monochrome CRT or if test gun select switch is not set to simultaneous. Yeah, okay. And if I remember right, because this is a color TV, you do set it to simultaneous. If it's, I think, a black and white or a projector, you actually use the red, green, and blue separate. So a good CRT gun will produce readings in the good area of the bar graph. So from the looks of it, it's testing good. Alright, now I'll move on to HK shorts. Set the function switch to HK short. Read the results on the bar graph for each gun. Only one bar graph will be active when testing a monochrome CRT or if the test gun select switches. Okay. Okay, so it looks like we don't have any shorts, which is good, if I have it set up right anyway. I hope I do. So cutoff and low tracking. Alright, be sure to have the CRT type and bias controls set up. They are right, okay. There are no shorts, at least according to my tests. Set the function switch to cutoff and low tracking. Alright. So right now it's reading bad because all these are at their lowest. Adjust the R cutoff control until the red bar graph reads within the cutoff area. Ooh, I'm getting nowhere. Got it turned up all the way and it's not moving at all. Alright. Well, let's repeat it for green. Nothing. And blue. So I'm getting 0 cutoff and low tracking. Let's go ahead and try the cutoff and low tracking just to see what happens. Yeah, I figured, okay. So I'm going to do reactivate, low, normal, high, restore. What does the reactivate setting do? I'm going to pause real quick and read up on that. Move back to cutoff because it's... Alright, I'll be back. Alright, so I've set this to... The way it works is it goes in from weakest to most extreme. So it's better to use the lower settings as opposed to just go straight to rejuve, because people have killed monitors just going straight to rejuve when they didn't need it. So I'm just gonna, since our cutoff and low tracking didn't test good, I'm gonna put it on reactivate, and we have the gun set to red here, because when you run these, you have to do each gun separately. So I'm just going to do reactivate by itself, see what happens. Press the button, wait for the light to go out. So press it. It should be running some extra current through the machine. According to that chart right there, it should be 30 seconds at 1 milliamp max current. Alright, lights out. And switch to the green. Test it again, or not test, but reactivate and see what happens. Just waiting for the light to go out. It'd be awesome if this worked. I could save the monitor and not have to try to swap it out. Because I do have a spare monitor. It's not exactly the right one for this chassis. It worked for a G07, which is the one in my Indiana Jones. So I guess if I can find a yoke and board for that, I could switch them. Alright, now go to the blue gun. Another 30 seconds. Yeah, the original chassis that came with this monitor, I found another one on eBay for, it was labeled like Japanese chassis, monitor chassis, so nobody bid on it. It went super cheap, got it for like 10 bucks. And that's the one that's in there now, because it's in better shape than the original. The original had a lot of burn spots, plus I kind of dropped it yesterday and cracked, pretty much broke the board around where the flyback goes. So let's go back to the cutoff and see if we can do anything here. No. Yeah, I'm gonna be a little worried that this thing is toast. Let's go back to red. And the low should be 3 seconds at 40 milliamps. Alright. Let's go to the green. Let's go to the blue, and I'm just going to look up here and see if I can't see the light lighten up brighter. Okay. So filament voltage is still 6.3. G1 shorts are all good. HK shorts are good. But the cutoff just does not do anything. It just drops to 0. And from what I read, in the cutoff section, it says a gun that cannot be brought up to the cutoff area has a worn or contaminated cathode. The CRT will have poor contrast, too dark black and grays if all 3 guns are weak, and that's pretty much what it is. It's just way too dark. You cannot see anything on the screen. So, see, bad cutoff, poor contrast, color shading, and gray picture area. It's just not very good at all. So I'm going to try low again. Blue, green, red. Yes, ain't looking good for my monitor, is it? Alright, that is reactivate, low, whoops, normal. So let's give it a shot. Red. Should go for 2 cycles, 80 milliamps. Green. Yeah, I think this monitor's bad, which is sad. So, still seeing that glow, which is good. Go ahead and try normal one more time on red. See if I can't get you in there to where you can see. There it is. Lost it for her. Normal. Green. Blue. Okay. Let's go back down here. Hey, we get movement on the emissions and high tracking now. We weren't getting any movement on that one a while ago. So that's cool. And just for giggles, so I ran reactivate twice, low, and normal twice. The cutoff still isn't moving at all, and that's the part that worries me. But if you notice, the emissions and tracking actually show up now on the different guns. So I'm gonna go ahead and pause for now, hook up the monitor, and see if I can't get something on the screen, see if it improved any. Alright, well, I'll just turn the game on and look, check this out. You can actually see the colors with, let's see, let's open the windows. There, with the windows open, so light coming in, you can make out the screen. That's 8 million times better than before, so that is awesome. I need to adjust the controls, so hopefully we can get some of the contrast maybe worked out. So, yes. I'll be back in a second. Alright. I did a little tweaking on my Blasteroids cabinet. And the color I didn't really change much. But I was having some issues. The horizontal width was way in here on both sides. So I adjusted the horizontal width coil literally as far as I could, and that's currently where we're set. I wish I could get it closer to the actual edges, but I'm happy with it where it's at. So, and the colors, I mean, considering how bad it was to begin with, this is awesome. I'm super happy with the way that Sencore CR7000 performed, and it literally brought this thing back from the dead because you couldn't see crap. I even picked up a spare monitor under there just in case I had to put it in here somehow, but as you can see, everything looks great. I adjusted some of the focus and the colors and stuff, but I'm very happy with the way this turned out. And then, as you can see, Indiana Jones over here just blaring away. So I guess the next thing I'll be doing is all I need is a bulb to get the marquee lit up. And I got the two controllers I want to replace in here. Add a couple NOS controllers. So eventually I'm going to want to take these completely apart and just completely restore them to as new condition, or like new condition. But for now I'm just happy to play them, considering. So, yeah. And I mean, it's a sunny day, but I got the curtains closed, or the blinds closed, and the light turned off. So, I mean, you can see the difference it made. And then I'll open the curtains, because before, other than me, before you couldn't see the colors at all. And yeah, I mean, this one here, it's a little brighter, I think. Or, you know, the blacks are a little darker, whereas this one, they're a little more washed out in the daylight. But the whole reason I put those blinds up there is so I could keep them closed and dark. So, I'm perfectly happy. Just got to get the glass put back in. But for now, I'll see you back once I start replacing the controls. So, later. Yeah.